I'd like to introduce Dr. Deanna-Windham from the Whitaker Wellness Institute in California, United States. Thank you for joining me, Deanna.
It is my pleasure, and thank you for having me, Linda. I appreciate it. I've had some personal experience with low-dose naltrexone because I myself had systemic lupus, and I say had. The correct medical way to put it is that I'm in remission, but I like to say that as long as I stay on my healthy program, I am in effect cured. About 8 to 9 years ago, I was really sick with systemic lupus, and I was getting sicker and sicker to the point that my doctors told my husband that he should just expect to be a widower because there was no way that I was going to make it as sick as I was. And now, through a process of, I did a lot of things, supplements and hyperbaric oxygen, and I had to detox off of mercury. But the low-dose naltrexone was also a key component of my treatment that once I added it in, I kind of felt that I got an aspect of it that I just hadn't been able to treat before, and I felt for the first time that I was actually healing instead of just treating. Mm-hmm. And now at 43, I don't mind saying so, I feel better at 43 than I have ever felt in my entire life. I got psoriasis when I was 9 months old, which, you know, at that time they didn't realize was autoimmune, and have struggled with different autoimmune aspects my entire life that went undiagnosed until I had this systemic lupus when I was at the end of my residency. And the difference in my life with how I feel, how I sleep, lack of pain and lack of fatigue is something that I didn't know people could actually experience. I just thought that was normal for life. And mm-hmm. So this is something that has become a personal quest for me to work with people that have autoimmune disease and to help them to understand how low-dose naltrexone works, that there is hope, that there is something that can be done, something real that can change their lives for the better. And I really try to get that information out to people and be a representative of that in my life.
Could you just explain for me what lupus is and how it affected you? You mentioned a few of the symptoms there, but could you explain fully?
Oh, sure. Lupus is an autoimmune disease that attacks the connective tissue in the body, and it can attack different systems. So systemic lupus can look different for each person. It doesn't always look exactly the same. Chronic pain in different areas of the body, chronic fatigue are two of the markers, but of course that's not those aren't solely lupus symptoms. In lupus, the organs can also be involved, the kidneys, the liver, the heart, the lungs, different parts of the body the connective tissues start to get attacked by the immune system. Mm-hmm. And don't work as well. So you start to have problems with many of the organs in the body. And again, it can look very different for different people. But some of the common symptoms, like I said, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, chronic brain fog, happen with lupus, and then along with the destruction of the organs themselves, which is what causes the deterioration.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for calling me.